Man, where do I even start with this video? There's so much to talk about, like just how awful this game is. Okay, I'm kidding. Please stop writing negative comments. Oh, shit! Shocking statement incoming. I've never fully played through Mario 64 or Mario Sunshine, so my review is coming from a slightly different perspective than those who are comparing them to Odyssey in their reviews. I've played them both, but for my personal take on things, I'm just gonna talk about the game on its own. And it's fantastic. There, you can put the weapons down now. This is what you wanted, isn't it? Super Mario Odyssey is a reminder of why I started playing video games in the first place. It brought me a sense of wonder and joy that I don't often feel, with my most frequently played game being League of Legends and all. The entire time I played this game, I had the biggest, stupidest smile on my face no matter what I was doing. Whether it was actually progressing the story or just running around jumping on taxis or whacking civilians with my hat, this game had me happy and excited the entire time. The game doesn't waste any time getting started either. Peach has been captured by Bowser once again, but this time he's got a real slick comb over and he's trying to marry Peach. So you gotta join your friend Hat with Eyes and travel to various kingdoms in a spaceship hot air balloon. Mario Odyssey quickly establishes the fact that it's different from other Mario games by replacing the regular star collecting for a new form of collectibles called moons. Instead of traversing through a more linear level and collecting a star at the end, Odyssey places you in an open world environment and puts moons everywhere. And I mean seriously everywhere. There are over 800 of these things in the game. You'll find them buried in the ground, hidden behind walls, and for completing challenges scattered across the game. Pretty sure I found one in my cereal this morning. Oh god. I really enjoy this new system as a person who likes collecting things in games, but I can see that it might become a bit repetitive to people who are looking for a greater challenge or don't enjoy collectibles. A reasonable amount of moons are given to you or found with little effort. However, you don't need to find all of the hidden ones to continue to new areas, so it shouldn't be a big problem if it's not your thing. Another thing I love about Mario Odyssey is how they were able to create such a massive game but cram it with so much detail. Open world games often have the problem of aiming for such a grand scale that they begin to feel empty. But in Mario Odyssey, the game is jam-packed with stuff to do. If it looks like you can climb something, you probably can. Oh, that wall looks a little different? It's probably a secret passage. Along with these detailed worlds, they've also added purple coins that are unique to each world. These coins are hidden all over the place like moons and allow you to purchase different costumes that fit with the theme of each world and reference other games. Or you can just run around in your underwear. Each one of the worlds has its own cast of enemies and NPCs that make the game even more memorable, like these little skeleton mariachi dudes, or these fat seals. Like, look how cute this is! His sleeves are too long! Even though I sometimes wished for a bit more challenge out of the main storyline in Mario Odyssey, I don't mind its lack of difficulty too much just because of how enjoyable it is. The game doesn't need to be hard. The incredible sense of exploration and discovery leaking out of every part of this game makes up for that. World design aside, this game just feels so good to play. At the beginning, I was a little worried about the controls as I couldn't figure out which controller style I wanted to use, and I'm also not a huge fan of motion controls. Thankfully, you can still use them with a regular controller and they aren't that important. The way Mario controls in Odyssey is one of my favorite parts about this game. The creators have brought back old moves from other Mario games like the long jump and somersaults, but they've also added a ton of new options that utilize Mario's hat. The diversity in movement options allows for incredibly fluid movement that never skips a beat. A lot of times in platformers, I'll have to wait for platforms or stop jumping across areas to slow down and time my jump, but for the most part in this game, you can just go. Sometimes I'll just be really proud of myself after doing some insane long jump to save a couple seconds instead of just going the regular way. Oh, and you can also roll into a ball and become Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, look at this. Remember that old commercial? Sega do what Nintendo? Checkmate, Sega. Speaking of abilities, it's kinda impossible to talk about Mario Odyssey without talking about Mario's new companion, Cappy. Along with all the other platforming skills I just mentioned, Cappy has the ability to possess different creatures in the game, allowing Mario to control them and gain new powers. Like, I was a little skeptical about this game at first, worrying I overhyped it, but then I turned into a frog! The game includes a wide variety of things you can capture, from swimming fireballs to stretchy plants to these sweet Moai dudes wearing sunglasses. Yeah. The powers are super fun to use and add a whole lot of unique mechanics to the game. And it's not just enemies you can control. You can possess forks, manhole covers, and meat. You could become just a big piece of meat. I guess you could say, I'd make a meat pun, but I'd probably butcher it. Okay, you guys can bring the guns back out now, I'm ready to die. Like I mentioned earlier, Mario's moveset is really diverse because of Cappy. You can throw him and have him hover in the air as an extra platform, and also perform more complicated moves like diving into the cap and throwing it against the wall to gain extra height. Basically, there's a lot you can do with Mario's hat. Like, a lot. What's this game rated again? And if the new jumping and capture abilities along with collecting moons didn't seem like enough content, the game adds a variety of weird activities and details to make it even more unique and enjoyable. One minute I'm hanging out jumping rope in the city, and the next thing I know I'm running along the beach with a dog wearing a sweet hat while we play fetch. Fetch the hat. You're my new best friend. Or I'm controlling one of those obese seal polar bear things in a race where they just fucking slam themselves against the wall to gain speed. Like, what is this? As you've probably heard in the background of this entire video, the music in this game is top-notch, as is usually the case for Nintendo games. The soundtrack includes a wide variety of styles and genres, including calm, relaxing songs like the Lake Kingdom theme, to upbeat and carefree themes like the Metro Kingdom. Also, for the first time in a Mario game, there are several songs with vocals, and they're my jam. Like, listen to this.
Come on and jump up in the air, jump without a care, jump up 'cause you know that I'll be there. And if you find you're short on joy, don't break us down forget, you're still our one-up boy.
If you haven't figured it out already from everything I've said, this game is absolutely incredible. I wrote most of this review before actually finishing the game, and after completing the game last night, I can say that this is one of the best games I've played in a very long time. The amount of post-game content for this game is actually insane. Beating the game is scratching the surface, and it's something I'll keep revisiting for hours and hours to come. I definitely recommend this game, 100%. Man, nobody saw that one coming. If you like platformers, Mario games, or have a soul, you will enjoy this game. It's time to hop on that reviewer bandwagon and go 10 out of 10, boys.
Swing your arms up from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario. Take one step, and then again, let's do the Mario.